During the time of my first assignment at Nativity, which was back in the early 90s, I received an invitation from a priest in New York to come and substitute for him while he was on vacation. It was great. I took the invitation. He paid for my airplane ticket in the middle of Manhattan, free place to stay, free food, and it was a great big Italian parish in the middle of New York City. It was just a great opportunity. During my time there, during the 2 weeks there, I would take walks in the various neighborhoods. One time, I came across a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood. On the streets, there's plenty of people in New York. All the men had these long, curly dreadlocks, unshaven for many years. They wore all hats, big hats. And even in the middle of the summer, which this was, they wore these knee-length black coats. Very Jewish, very Hasidic. All the women wore the most matronly dresses, big dresses, no slacks, no makeup. And even the children, even the little boys and the girls, were dressed in similar ways. Even the little boys had dreadlocks and hats. So the Hasidic Jews in that big New York neighborhood were all living according to a rigid code of religious law. Several times when I was walking around that neighborhood, the people in that neighborhood, now I'm just a Mississippi boy, I was not dressed in clerics, but I got the most suspicious looks from those people. This is not a value judgment, but they looked at me very suspiciously. I was not in the right neighborhood. All of a sudden, I crossed this wide, big New York boulevard and went across the street, and immediately it turned into a Puerto Rican neighborhood. Puerto Rican. Loud music everywhere, raucous, garish, all these colors, and the food was very different. And then I walked through that neighborhood, back to where I was, the church, in the neighborhood to the church that I was in. And all of a sudden, across another boulevard, it's totally Catholic Italian. Such cultural diversity. But the real sad thing that I noticed in those walks was that there was absolutely no interaction among those ethnic groups. None. If you were in the neighborhood that you weren't supposed to be in, you got stared down. The divisions were sharp. They were sharp. Brothers and sisters, when religion divides people, religion has failed. When our ethnicity divides us, our culture has failed. But good faith and good judgment and good peace, conversely, is the realization that there is only one God, only one, who delights in differences and diversity among his people.